General Manuel Oscar Rodriguez Ibáñez, Maury, stood looking down at Earth. He could see ash clouds here and there, from the alien attacks in La Guerra Total, the World War. Maury had been a good Marine, following orders, until his beloved Argentina had been targeted. Argentina had no large industrial or military centers, but the aliens had bombed it nonetheless. Maury was now hell-bent on revenge against those pendejos. He was no longer a soldier following orders. Now he was El Demonio de la Muerte. He was going to turn the alien world into a barren wasteland for what they did to Argentina. Maury had contacted everyone he knew that was disgruntled with the incompetent politicians who seemed determined to lose the war. Their ridiculous policies and restrictions showed that they were soft and weak, with no understanding of how life was outside their pampered, useless existences. A few of Maury's contacts had put him in touch with mercenaries, pirates, and general malcontents, anyone who could be persuaded to attack or annoy the pendejos. He had come up with a plan that was nothing the galactic community had ever seen before. A Canadian lieutenant of his, Jacques Laurent, had laughed so hard he choked when he heard the plan. Maury warned him that they may be charged with war crimes. Lieutenant Laurent told him an old Canadian proverb, "It's not a war crime the first time you do it." Maury had been hit by inspiration hearing one of his sergeants complain about how much he hated cats. The sergeant was from New Zealand, where cats were so overpopulated that the New Zealand government would actually offer bounties on them every few years. The Galactic Police would restrict weapons technologies from transport. The types and amounts of weapons had restrictions, in order to keep wars from extending outside the interested parties. However, their scanning technology, which couldn't be fooled by any of Earth's jamming equipment, only looked for weapons. It looked for every weapon imaginable but nothing else. Shuttle transports from Maury's orbiting fleet had started going down to designated spots on Earth, collecting very specific cargo. The whole collection operation was scheduled to take 3 days. Then 3 days hyperspace travel. Then 3 days to unleash the apocalypse on the Pendejos world. By the time Maury was finished, the enemy homeworld would be El Mundo de Mierda, planet shit. As the 3 days dragged on, EarthGov tried ordering Maury to stand down and explain himself. Instead, he gave a speech that garnered him grassroots support and cooperation of the civilian population. "I am General Manuel Oscar Rodriguez Ibáñez of the United Earth Forces. I took an oath to defend our world and its people against all enemies, both alien and domestic. We have been attacked over and over by these aliens, and our politicians order soldiers like me to allow it. No more. I am taking the fight to them. Their world will perish for killing our children. Any EarthGov officials who try to interfere will be considered collaborators with the aliens and treated accordingly. The galaxy will know that Earth is defended and to be left alone." Part of the plan had been to strip heavy and medium weapons from the ships. Light self-defense weapons wouldn't trigger a combat response. It would never occur to those alien pendejos that they were being attacked by minimally armed ships. Even if they did speculate the remote possibility, the nature of the attack absolutely would not occur to them. The Hodgepodge fleet arrived at the Pendejo world just before noon at the capital city. By then the stench in all fleet ships was overpowering, but it actually strengthened the resolve of the Earth forces. Because the ships were basically unarmed, no enemy craft came to intercept the fleet, because scanners and computers had determined that there was no threat. Maury had hackers temporarily take over a few public news feeds as shuttles transported their payloads to the surface of the enemy world. Maury made one more speech, partly to terrorize, partly to distract. "Attention! You have attacked Earth civilians in violation of galactic law. We will not allow our children to be killed by evil entities that your population openly supports. Your world will become a lesson to all. Earth is protected and to be left alone. May your gods have mercy on you because we will not." The speech played over and over until the aliens had regained control of their media. Took a few hours, but by then it was too late. Maury saw the data readouts coming in to the ship from the fleet. He gave a grim smile. The plan had been executed perfectly. Now it was time to go home and wait. The televised court-martial of Maury was amazingly popular, but not in the way the politicians hoped. People decorated their homes and vehicles with signs praising Maury. Trendy musicians made songs about him, and many small businesses, especially restaurants, named popular products after him. There were even minor political parties that were circulating petitions to get his name on ballots for several public offices. During the trial, Mori was relaxed, even smiling a great deal. Prosecutor-General, will you explain what you did to the alien planet? Mori, see. I brought them many gifts of Earth's wildlife. Prosecutor-Wildlife. Mori-C. Many animals. Prosecutor-, what did you do with these animals? Mori-, I released them where they would eat well. Prosecutor-, what do you mean by that? Mori actually leaned back in his chair. 600,000 rabbits were released into farmland. 300,000 cats were released into forests. 180,000 coyotes were released by livestock ranches. And 63,000 emus were released into their 3 main cities. Prosecutor-, and after you released these animals, what did you do? Mori, we left. I ordered the fleet to return to wherever they came from. Prosecutor, and what was your plan after that? Mori leaned forward and gave her a wicked smile. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just sit here at Earth waiting 2 years for their surrender. But it will be too late. It's already too late now. Those animals are all vicious except the rabbits, and they are all extremely voracious. They have no natural predators on that world. The rabbits will eat all the crops. The coyotes will eat most of the livestock, and what there is left won't have enough food because of the rabbits. The cats will kill all the small game in the forests, which will starve out the large game. And the emus, well, that was mostly for entertainment. Those Earth animals will raze the enemy planet to the ground by completely destroying their food supply. In order to get rid of the animals, they will have to either completely poison their planet or introduce predator species that may be an even bigger problem. The prosecutor looked at him in horror. How could you do such a thing? Mori-, as I said, this will be a lesson to the entire galactic community. Earth is defended and to be left alone.